I ran across a saying by Shree Nisargadatta Maharaj, who I've mentioned a number of times before. I thought it was really so descriptive of something that I'm more fully than ever realizing in myself. And that is, that the only or the main thing that we are doing through this kind of practice, if we really want to be liberated, is we are staying in our witness awareness. It's all a matter of what perspective, viewpoint do we take on our own life experience. If we view our life experience from the point of view of all our conditionings and outer experiences and visions and this and that, well, then it's going to not be experienced in a totally open state. So, as Rudy said, and as we always say, surrender is the key. So we need to really surrender everything, ultimately, other than this very simple, pure awareness that is looking at our life as it unfolds itself. Now that means not being worried about the future, or at least minimizing that as much as possible, and not being lost in the past. Letting the here and now really expand and becoming all that there is. All that there is. So if those of you who read this, you will have seen the first paragraph. I'll read it. That Nisargadatta says, "Be aware that whatever happens, happens to you, by you, through you. You are the creator, the enjoyer, and the destroyer of all you perceive, and you will not be afraid." Now that means exactly what it says, that if we can really pull our attention back from all the distractions, let all that go, and really be in the perspective of observing our own experiences, then we are experiencing that in a way, in a Bhairava mudra. We are experiencing it, in a wide open state. The main thing is that you are in an inner state of balance, and you are really in a wide open state, so that towards the end of your meditation, your practice, whether it's open eyes or not, try to really go into that witness awareness. Witness yourself. Witness, not in a cold and too distant way, but you can witness yourself compassionately, and actually in that witness awareness, compassion, joy, power is built into it. It is its nature when it is allowed to be the main thing functioning. So when we are allowing that, then we are basically Shiva. We are the Parabrahma, Parashiva, the ultimate, whatever. We are seeing everything. We're seeing ourselves and everything from that perspective. And this is the main thing that we can do for ourselves. It totally liberates us from having to chase anything, from having to grasp at anything. He goes on to say, then unafraid, you will not be unhappy. If you are not afraid, you are not unhappy, nor will you seek happiness. What happiness is there to seek beyond that witness awareness? Are we going to seek happiness by getting more relationships, more cars, more things, more success, more? What do we need more of in order to really succeed? For me, the main success is being anchored in that witness awareness, being immersed in it. And I love the way Nisargadatta very, very clearly and forcefully states this from that perspective. Once you move into that perspective, everything else dissolves. He goes on to say, in the mirror of your mind, all kinds of pictures appear and disappear. Knowing that they are entirely your creation, watch them silently come and go. Be alert but not perturbed. This attitude of silent observation is the very foundation of yoga. You see the picture, but you are not the picture. This is so simply stated, and as he says, is the essence of any kind of real yoga. Yoga originally, had nothing to do with moving or physical health or any of that. It had to do with sitting silently, observing your inner self until you experience that power of your witness awareness. That's what yoga was, and that's what it still is, really. It aims, to dive into as much as possible this sense of oneness. So, when we see visions and we feel our anxieties and we worry about this and we think this is happening, and how can we experience all of that from a witness perspective? When we witness it, then we really can feel the essence of it. And there's nothing really happening. It's beyond life and death. It's constantly unfolding, constantly lasting a while, and then constantly dissolving back into its source. At the end here, he says, all that happens in the universe happens to you, the silent witness. On the other hand, whatever is done by you, the universe and the inexhaustible energy. So what he's encouraging us to do, and I would encourage us to do as much as possible, is to be Shiva Shakti right now. Identify yourself with your deeper reality. Don't identify with yourself with all of these illusions and patterns and difficulties and challenges and dreams and worries and all of that, because it's not going to give you any real results worthwhile. It's just going to tangle you more up in those pursuits and all that chasing and clinging. So this is why, of course, Rudy said surrender is the key. Surrender of all those things is what gets us in touch with the divine in us, the divine nature of being this dynamic stillness. We are the stillness, we are the witness, We are the unlimited potential, and we are also the constant unfolding of manifestation and its dissolution back into us. When I first learned that my teacher Rudy had passed away, I felt only gratitude. I didn't feel anything other than that. I was grateful that I had been in contact with that deeper self that he represented, and that I had the opportunity to learn that and make that my own in this life. He said with all of his words and all of his being that it's possible to free yourself. He used slightly different words, but he was talking about this witness awareness. You can free yourself by being identified with that and totally surrendered. And then I believed him, and something in me said clearly, this you're going to do the rest of your life. And because I believed him, it's becoming manifest. It's happening. So I'm encouraging this to happen also for you as deeply as possible. And you reach into it, you work with it, and it will be as good as it can be. And on the way to this total immersion in the witness awareness, there's also a lot of joy and energy and gratitude for life to be had. So go as far as you can and want to. And I, of course, totally wish you well in that process, and I respect you all very much for working on it as long and as regularly as you are.